It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a theory or prediction when it comes to Negan and Annie's story in season 11 part 3 of The Walking Dead. Now, this is not much of a theory or prediction video as it is an explained video, because at this point we pretty much know that this is in fact a direction they're going with things, unless they're really tricking us into thinking that something is going to go down with Annie. But at this point, this is pretty much a video where I'm going to explain the foreshadowing that's being done for a major death that's going to be coming up, at least for Negan, and that is the death of Annie. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. We did learn in season 11 that Negan is with someone named Annie, and they're actually married, and Annie is carrying Negan's child. When this particular episode came with the reveal about Negan and Annie, and the fact that Negan and Annie were married, I immediately made a prediction that we're gonna see something with Annie and Negan that's in some way gonna reflect the Maggie and Glenn storyline, in a way to kind of bring things full circle, or for it to be kind of like a poetic justice type of thing. And of course, it seems more and more like they are in fact gonna go this direction, where they're gonna have the Maggie and Glenn storyline in a way parallel the Annie and Negan storyline. Like I've said before, similar to how Maggie lost Glenn before Glenn could meet his child with Maggie, they're probably gonna do something similar where Annie is gonna die either with the baby or without the baby, most likely with the baby, and that's gonna leave Negan in a state where he's gonna not be able to meet his child, just like Maggie. So it's like Negan is experiencing what Maggie experienced, and in a way that kind of maybe brings some closure to Maggie as well, in a way. Or if we just put that aside, it'll be a way for Negan's story to really parallel Maggie's story. You know what I mean? And if they do in fact give this death to both Annie and the unborn child, it's definitely gonna be a remixed version of Lori and Judith's death in the comics. So they're also gonna bring that storyline in as well and remix it with Negan and Annie's child instead of Rick and Lori's child like the comics, or I should say Shane, but let's not go there. Even after all of that, they did something in the very latest episode of The Walking Dead, season 11 episode 18, which was called A New Deal, that kind of brought this theory back on the table. Of course, I'm talking about ultrasound pictures of their baby. And this happens obviously when they're at Commonwealth, and this scene pretty much parallels the scene with Maggie and Glenn looking at the ultrasound of their son when they got to Alexandria. So these two scenes are pretty much identical, and it's really a way to make the audiences really see the similarities in these two stories and kind of appreciate what they're doing, which is they're making Negan go through the same exact thing as Maggie did. Now, as great as this is and as awesome as everything is, I have a slight problem with this whole thing. And my problem is that it's not shocking. Like, we saw it coming from a mile away, or most diehard fans saw it coming from a mile away. So there is really no impact because we've seen a lot of the pieces come together slowly. So it's not going to have the same effect, in my opinion. If they did it slightly different, where they didn't make it as obvious as this, if they didn't spoon feed it to us, maybe it would have had more of an impact. But at this point, it doesn't feel like there is any impact in this story, because at this point, I would honestly be more shocked if Annie doesn't die than if she does. Because we know Negan is not going to die. Negan is going to be in a spin-off with Maggie herself. And Annie, she's nowhere to be found in the spin-off. What does that tell you? So I mean, at this point, I'm 99.999% sure that Annie's gonna die, and in my opinion, it's just not that shocking. And to kind of bring another thing into the conversation, we do know that Lucille, Negan's first wife, she's gonna make another cameo in season 11. She's gonna come back in the final episode, and the only reason why she might come back is if there is a big scene involving Negan. And since we know Negan is not gonna die, it's probably gonna be a scene involving Annie's death. So that's also another layer that gets added in to make it even more obvious that they're gonna kill Annie. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed. I do want to know your thoughts and opinions. Do you think this is just too obvious, or do you think that it's gonna be good regardless? So share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.